What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Cedar Flags. So last episode was our grand opening episode, and this episode we're going to be building a drink stand. Now the reason for that is because I was playing this game a little bit off camera, so to speak, just kind of dealing with the management side of the game just a little bit, try to get myself a little more acquainted with it since I haven't really explored it all that much just yet. But I kept getting the message that people are thirsty. People are thirsty. People are thirsty. So we need to give them something to drink. So you'll notice we're over by Alpine Spirit at the moment, and we're going to be putting a country inn or country store style drink stall stand, something like that, up here. And yeah, we're going to go through it. And this episode, we're only going to be doing that. So I'm kind of trying this new format where I'm more focusing on just one thing. So you may notice that the time lapse is actually slowed down just a bit, so we're going to be able to see more of what's going on and kind of the finer details of the build. So if you guys like that, let me know with a thumbs up. If you don't, let me know why not. But I feel like this is going to give us a little bit more focus, or actually give me a little bit more focus. So I think going into these bigger episodes, like in a couple of the last ones where we were building the entire row of shops on the other side of the park, I feel like I get intimidated a little bit. I kind of psych myself out, and I'm like, there's so much work to do. I don't know. But I think kind of chopping it down into more bite-sized pieces might fix that. I don't know. We're going to try it. We'll see how this one goes. And of course, we're going to stick with the same format where we go back in live. But yes, so what are we doing right now? Well, we're building this store. You saw me start with that L shape to it, and I wanted to make that work, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't happening. And a lot of the issue came with the path system, and every time I try to put the paths together, it would snap from one store to the other, or something would go awry. So I kind of scaled it back a little bit, and we went with this really simple, just kind of rectangular box with two drink stalls in the front of it. So I actually pulled up a couple pictures of a country store, like what I was kind of imagining in my mind for a country store, and kind of went off of that. Now you'll notice I put a roof on this right now, and I will be taking that off in a half second here because it wasn't working for me. The roof pieces didn't overlap properly, and the top ones didn't connect to each other properly. So in the end, we're actually turning this roof into a facade and just having a flat roof under it. I found this really cool trim piece right now that I'm putting down that has this like lip to it, so I really liked that, so I figured we should probably work that in. Now there are a ton of other pieces like the ones that I just put down with the arches and stuff. I really didn't feel like they fit well into my vision of what this was going to be. I'm trying to take a lot of influence from Alpine Spirit. So we have kind of this park is very strange right now because it's got a lot of odd theming, I feel like. So we themed Alpine Spirit in this kind of like backwoodsy kind of feel. And then we have the row houses on the other side of the park that are more European. So really we've got a lot of things going on right now, and I don't think they're clashing, but I don't think they really have a purpose right now. They feel like they're just kind of placed in just to be there. So I feel like this store kind of ties this kind of little area of the park together, if that makes any sense. I think we need to start focusing on that in terms of theming. Now, again, I've said I don't really want to have this park like a mega themed park with just like huge portions of the park themed. But we will be doing a little bit of that. I just don't want to make it a focus. I want to build really quality roller coasters, and that's something we need to do more of. But it's just these little things that we need to kind of fill in until we get to that point where we can build more roller coasters. And I think the coasters will come in either the next episode or the episode after that. So we still do need to do a lot of the lighting stuff. We haven't really touched lighting at all. I do put some lighting into this shop, which is more in its final form right now. I haven't really talked much about what I did, but it's a pretty simple build. And I think the really cool part of this build is just where it resides. It's kind of like set back into that mountainside, and then we use the paths to kind of connect back up to the main path. Now, I hope this doesn't get too crowded over here, but it probably will, especially because everybody is apparently thirsty in our park. So I'm hoping that this kind of does its job well, but again, we'll see how that goes. And a lot of the overcrowding issues that we have right now are because the park is so small. There's not a lot of options for people to go to do different things right now. So that's why we're seeing a ton of people in line for rides and a ton of people trying to get food and drink from the very limited selection that they have. So again, as we expand this park out, we will be seeing less and less of those problems. One thing that I do want to mention, when I was kind of going through and playing this game for the management side and kind of figuring all that out, I know I said that I want to play this series as more of like a focus on still trying to run the park and manage it and make money with it. Now, that's good, but I do want to keep the rides free. So it's really, really difficult, I've noticed, to make money in this game when your rides are free. So I actually shut the park down at one point, and then I reopened it, and as people came in, that day we made like $12,000 just from ticket sales and people being in the park for a day. So if we really wanted to go like heavy into the management and actual simulation side of things, that's, I guess, something that we would have to do, but I think we're going to relax on that a little bit. This is definitely going to stay more of a design kind of series, so I hope you guys don't mind that. I'm sure a lot of you won't, but yeah, that's kind of my I guess, changing of a mentality in terms of that. But right now, we're working on the landscape just a little bit around this area. And I love how these bushes, we're using a continuity throughout this park in terms of lining the paths with the same bushes to make when you have bushes of the same style in different parts, it kind of lets the guests know that this is all supposed to be one part. So we take a lot of the influence from what we did around Alpine Spirit and used it in this area. So this, I don't know. You'll see as we go into the live portion and we take a step back, and you'll see how much this one little stall being over here in this weird kind of awkward corner pulls this area together, and it does come out really nice. So we're going around right now and placing some custom rail type thing. They're more like foot, I don't know what I was gonna say. They're more like foot guards or kick plates or something, I guess you could say. But this kind of ties this area together because I didn't like the natural rails that were on the paths. And you just saw me do something really kind of interesting, and that was take a lamp and flip it upside down and use that to light the front of the little path area here. That was kind of cool. I don't know how I didn't know how I feel about it, and now I do. I think when we go back in, I'll like it a lot better. It looks a little awkward at first, but I think in the end it comes out great. But what we're doing right at this moment is screwing around with the signs. Now, if you guys have been around the channel for a while, you'll know that I am a sign maker in real life, and this game kind of hurts me on like a weird spiritual level because the signs are just kind of lackluster. I'm sorry to say it. This game is amazing, but the signs really need some work. I really wish we had custom letter sets, and I really wish the signs at least had a little bit more, I guess, variety. We need mid-sized signs, and we need more than these 5 terrible fonts. I'm sorry, they are so bad. But yeah, right now what we're doing is hanging a couple custom signs over each stall because the big gulpy sign didn't really look all that great. It really broke the theming, and I think in the end, this kind of hanging a sign on a rope looks a lot cooler. Now, what I'm doing right now is putting a really big sign at the top of the facade area, and I just call it drinks. So you guys have a mission in the comments, and that is to name this little stand here. It needs a name. I don't want to just call it drinks. I mean, it gets the point across, but still, not as good as it could be. So you guys let me know. And if you want to create like a character or something, go ahead. I mean, we could always put an entertainer over here and keep him around there. And we could name him whatever. So you guys go wild in the comments with that. But I think it's about time to go back live and check out what we have done. Alright guys, so we're back here live in Cedar Flags, and before we go over to the drink stall that we just did in the time lapse and that you guys are going to name in the comments, hopefully, I want to talk a second about the fact that over here we now have a small Cosmic Cow ice cream stand. This is here just to get some people moving up here. So as I was kind of sitting in the game and training the staff, which I should probably show you guys, we have most of them kind of trained up. If I can find them, there they are. Yeah, most of them are trained up pretty high, and I hope none of them end up leaving. I mean, some of these people I should probably figure out why they're not happy or whatever, but yeah, as I was kind of monitoring that, I noticed nobody was really coming up here, so I decided to put a Cosmic Cow ice cream stand up here and put a little ice cream cone here, which I think fit real well. And then over on the other entrance over here, we have, on the lookout, we have a nice weathered ice cream sign, which really fits the aesthetic over here very well. So like I was saying about the people crowding in certain areas and having many guests thirsty, yeah, we have a bunch of people here because they really don't have anywhere else to go, and we apparently have a bunch of people thirsty. And look at that, we have a ton of people ordering drinks over the drink stands. Now, we have, what, a water stand and a soda stand, and everybody is running into this pillar because they are so excited to get some of that nice sud action going on in their mouth. I don't know why I said that. That was weird. But yeah, as you can see, we have a monthly profit of $9,000, and I believe this is the same day that I just started in terms of closing the park, having everybody leave, and then starting a new day where everybody came back in. So I think that's why we have such a high revenue right now. Now, yeah, like I said, we're going to kind of not focus on that all that much moving forward. We're just going to try to design a really nice, really functioning park, and we're going to see where my computer chokes up and eventually stops being nice, because this game is eventually going to be very choppy in terms of FPS, especially when we have more people coming in. And eventually we should probably cap the amount of people that are allowed into the park. But anyway, let's check out what we did. So we have this really awesome drink stand that is right next to Alpine Spirit. It's using the same kind of theming. Now, it is a little bit different. You'll notice I didn't go ahead with all of these like custom wooden pillar supports around here because I really didn't feel like we needed it all that much. We used these new, well, I don't know if you could say new, but they're a different style, but they're colored a little darker to match the top of the wood here on this trim. And I really think I nailed that color match. It looks great. And matching colors in this game, if you've played it at all, you know how annoying it is to match a color, because when you click on a block, it changes to this blue outline, and just getting a color to work right is really frustrating at times, and I hope they change that eventually. And wow, we have so many people over here. Oh man, I really maybe should have tried to make another path off this way or something to get them, I don't know. It should all, like I said, it should all kind of dissipate once we get more drink stalls open. But last thing I think I want to talk about is these upside down lamps. Now, these, like I said, I was a little iffy on them at first, but in the end, I really like how they came out. It kind of reminds me of like an old-timey stage, like a stage that you would see like plays on or something, because they used to have, they kind of were shaped like this, but they had candles in them. So it's kind of a throwback look, and I guess it works really well with this old country inn or country store style. But yeah, that's that, guys. In the next episode, I think we should probably fill this area out just a little bit. Maybe put one or two rides right here, and then do some theming around it. And then, of course, we need to go through and do some lighting stuff. So that should be the next episode. But the episode after that, we are going to finally start our second roller coaster, probably right here. And I have some plans. I'm thinking maybe we do a dive coaster where it dives down under the path and comes up over here and kind of works its way back around here. So guys, if you're excited for that, let me know. And yeah, that's gonna be that for this episode. Guys, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you disliked it, of course, thumbs down. And until next time, I will see you back here in Cedar Flags.